Have you ever seen somebody coming at a particular age in their life? They are talking about that I have not achieved much in my life, and given my age, there is not much of a thing that is left in my life. I don't want to feel getting motivated in my life, and there are physical challenges that I'm facing. So, what differently can I achieve in my life? So, that particular situation, that particular phenomenon is actually known as midlife crisis, which you might have heard many a times in your life. When other people are talking about it, you might have heard it somebody from your family talking about it. Hello, friends. Good evening. So, first of all, I'd like to wish you a very happy Ganpati Utsav, and I request Lord Ganesha to bless you with good health and prosperity. Take away any obstacle that is there in your life. So that's my prayer to Lord Ganesha on behalf of all of you. Now, friends, I just touched upon that topic called midlife crisis. But today, we are not going to talk about midlife crisis. Our practice, our ritual is to talk about career growth, right? How can we mix that topic? Today, obviously, we are going to talk about your career, but with a twist. Unlike midlife crisis, today we are going to touch upon another subject which is called mid-career crisis. So the question is, how to get through mid-career crisis is something that today we are going to look into. But before going to how to get through mid-career crisis, what is very important for us to understand is, what is mid-career crisis? What is this? What exactly we are talking about? Now, to talk about mid-career crisis, let us imagine a particular situation in our career. For example, suppose you have already given 15 years, 20 years, 25 years in your career. On an average Indian starts his or her career at the age of 24, 25 years. Some people do start a little bit earlier as well. And then that person will be working till the age of 60, mostly, right? Now, between those 35, 36 years, after you have completed 15 years, 20 years in your career, you reach a certain stage in terms of your career growth, your status, your experience, your networking within one organization, multiple organization, many people, etc. At this particular age, predominantly, you actually face two things. Number one, when you have already given 15 years, 20 years in your profession, in your career, you suddenly see that young people coming and joining your organization. Some of these people are highly energetic, very knowledgeable. They know what's going on in the market today. And somewhere that particular situation gives you a little bit of tension. The tension like, I've spent so many years in my profession, and this new person comes in but this new person is having so much of knowledge. Will he surpass me? Will he go beyond me, above my position? And the second thing that you might be facing in that particular situation is that, uh, what's ahead for me? Now, I have achieved a certain level. Beyond that, I don't see anything further achievable in my career. I don't see an opportunity in my organization. So, yes, friend, that's the situation that we are talking today and given it a name, a mid career crisis. Now, there are certain ways in which you can actually identify for yourself and for others whether the person is going through a mid career crisis or not. Before coming to that, just one request to all of you. I will request all of you to participate in the talk by writing your comments, and I'll be able to see your comments. I will also put your comments, show it to others. So comments on what exactly you feel about this particular topic, what has been your experience in your life or somebody else's life. So I will request you to share those things. So that will help us to have a very good interaction with each other, which will be value-added interaction for all of us, right? So with that request, let's go back to the subject wherein we are saying that there are certain signs which will actually help you to identify whether a person is going through a mid-career crisis or not. So there are predominantly three signs are there. So we will talk about these three signs. What are these three signs? The first sign which will help you to identify that whether a person is going through a mid-career crisis or not is lack of motivation in giving your best. So at this particular stage, wherein you have already spent 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, you don't feel motivated to give your 100%, give your best shot today. Arey yaar, I have already given. I have spent so much of time in the organization. I have spent so much of experience that I have. Now this motivation doesn't work. This is all for these youngsters. Let them, feel motivated and give their best. I know I'm anyway giving my best. What different I can do? How much should I give? I'm giving so much to the organization. So that's the first sign when you see somebody at this particular stage of career, that the person is not feeling extra motivated as compared to others. Now, when I say as compared to others, mostly you can actually compare with highly energetic people who have joined recently in the organization. Obviously, their motivation level will be very high. So compared to that level, people at this particular stage usually cannot maintain the same level of motivation. So that's the first sign for you. The second sign for you to understand is these people do not feel enthusiastic about even going to work. Well, same routine every day. Get up from bed, get ready to go to office, go to the office, open the laptop, do the same 1, 2, 3 tasks, close the laptop, go home and sleep. So somewhere that enthusiasm that, wow, today, let me go to office and do something new. Let me innovate something new way of doing things. So that enthusiasm somewhere goes down. And that's another sign that this person is going through a mid-career crisis. What is the third sign? Yes, there is a third sign too. The third sign is this kind of people will feel impatient and defensive. Impatient in the sense that if something is not happening on time, something is taking a little bit of time, they get impatient. If they've asked for support from somebody and that person is taking time to give the support, they will get impatient. Hey, why are you taking so much of time? At your age, I used to do things in 5 minutes, and you are taking 1 hour. Come on, this is not done. This will not take you anywhere. So that's the kind of feedback that this kind of person sometimes gives. Now, and also what happens that if they make a mistake, instead of accepting the mistake, they immediately become defensive. It happened because of this particular thing. Actually, I wanted to do this, but eventually we ended up having this particular problem. So they will go this way, that way, this way, that way, but will not accept the mistake directly and will become very defensive. So these are predominantly 3 signs to tell you either you or somebody else is going through that mid-career crisis. And added to that, obviously, the other things that I talked about, that any newcomer coming, you will have that sort of discomfort and fear that whether this person will surpass me or not. So that's a situation wherein the mid-career crisis hits us. Now, although we are talking about this happens with people who has spent 15 years, 20 years, 25 years in their career, it might also happen with people not even spending 15 years, maybe 10, 12, 13 years, because in their mind they think that I'm at my mid-career. Because possibly they might have thought that I'm not going to work for entire 60 years. I might be working only for 50 years and then I will retire. I'll take a voluntary retirement. So for me, when I've spent 10, 12, 13 years, I'm already in mid-career level. So now what ahead? What should I do next? So they are into that particular dilemma. So it might happen, but predominantly it happens with people who have spent sufficient amount of time in their career and they face this kind of situation. Now, there are certain checkpoints. Before you make an opinion about a particular person or about you, that you are going through a mid-career crisis or not. Because it cannot be very straightforward, right? If these 3 signs are there and 2 more signs are there, so this person is going through a crisis, I need to do something to help this person, or I need help, so somebody please come and help me. No, it cannot be that way. So there are certain other factors also that you should be checking about. What are these factors? Let's look into. The first thing that you should be looking into is it a temporary phenomenon? Is it something which is only happening during a certain time, certain period in your career? Or it is something which is continuously happening over the last 1 year or 2 years? Is it something that possibly during certain months of the year you face this, wherein your company's business is not doing that great? It is in a monotonous situation, not many new things are happening in the organization, and during that time possibly you feel a little bit down, thereby in your mind this kind of feelings are coming. So you need to check whether this is temporary or a prolonged duration you are having that particular situation. The next thing that you should be also be checking is, are you facing some sort of health issues which is causing this mindset? Oh yes, it happens. If you are not in your good health, you will be low in energy and your mood will not be positive. So even your health condition may impact the way whether you feel satisfied in your work or not, whether you feel motivated to do new things or not, whether you find it easy to get along with others, whether you feel interested to talk with others or not. So check on that aspect, that whether is it a health issue. The third thing that you should also be checking in this kind of situation is, are you experiencing challenges in your personal life? And is it because of some challenges in your personal life that it has started impacting how do we come up professionally? Whether it is happening in your case or it is happening somebody else's, check that out. That is it because of some personal problem that the person is going through, due to which he or she is behaving in such way or feeling in such way. And yes, that's also a possibility. At the end of the day, we are human beings. We are social human beings. When there is a harmony and fine balance in our personal life, in our surroundings, the same thing impacts our professional life. When this balance becomes a little bit of disbalanced, yes, it does impact negatively in our professional life as well. So before you make an opinion regarding you or somebody else, please also check on these few points. Now the next question that comes, chalo, I have understood what is mid-career crisis. I've also understood that what are the signs of it, what are also additional things that I need to be looking into before making an opinion. The next question that comes before us is, what should I do if I'm going through a mid-career crisis? What should I do? So then obviously we are coming to this particular very important point. What should we do as a solution? Now let's look into 5 things that you can do to address and get rid of mid-career crisis that you're currently facing. The first thing that you should be checking is asking yourself a few tough questions. Hey, what do you mean by tough question? Question is okay, but tough question. So I need to ask myself some tough questions. Oh yes, you need to ask yourself some tough questions. What are these tough questions? First of all, you need to sit quietly and then ask yourself, hey, what's happening with me? Why I am behaving in such a way? What do I want out of my career? Why do I feel stuck in my career? Why I'm not feeling motivated to give my 100%? Why I don't feel enthusiastic every day to go to my work and give my best? What's happening with me? Ask these questions to yourself and note down whatever answers are coming from within. Because this process will do the very important thing of grounding yourself to that situation which you are facing up front instead of going sideways. So the first thing that you should be doing is to ask yourself these tough questions. Yeah, so I think, yes, hi Yogesh. So Yogesh as mentioned, sharing real life experience also teaches tested solutions. Yep. So if you have that kind of a real life experience, please feel free to share with the other viewers here. You can write it in your comments here. And the same request to somebody else also, in case you have experienced in your career, or you might have seen somebody else, that people going through this kind of a situation, sometimes that person requires a little bit of help, not a great help, but a little bit of help. And that particular little help from your side can help that person tremendously in his or her professional as well as personal life. Now, that was the first thing that we talked about, is that asking yourself tough questions. The second thing that you can do is you can initiate a new project that can grow your organization. Now, there is a difference in this particular comment versus simply saying that start something new. At a particular point in your career where you think that you have already given your best to the organization, to your work, and there is nothing new to give, believe me, that particular thought process is also a reason why you are not getting growth opportunity in the organization. Because in your mind, you might have already decided that nothing else can be given from me. I've already given whatever I know. And today, it is a very monotonous work from here on. If the thought has already come in your mind, believe me, that is the reason that you're not growing in your organization. So that's the reason we are saying here that take a new project which can help growing your organization. This particular project can be completely different from what normally you do at your work. What is your role? It may be beyond your role. For example, if you are into sales and marketing in your organization, you are responsible for sales and marketing. Try taking up a project possibly related to people development, which is maybe not directly your area, but that people development, a project which is connected to the entire organization. Try to take up that kind of a project by proposing to your organization. If you take up that kind of a project, believe me, a sudden rush of energy will engulf you. And that will make a big change in your mindset, will help you to handle this particular crisis that we are discussing today. So that is the second thing that you can do. So what is the third thing that you can do? Now, this is important. The third thing talks about get some additional training to upgrade your skills. Now, all of us, we know about this, right? That the learning has to be a continuous journey. Now, even though we know about it, what happens to us when you reach a certain age, certain level in our career? Isn't it that many of us start thinking, I know enough, I learned enough, I got so many certificates to back me up. Now, no more learning. Enough of learning. I'm not a school kid now. I cannot go back to the classroom and learn something new. So we lose that appetite to learn something new, thinking that I know enough to take care and manage my career. Friends, that might be true, that you know so many things much better than somebody else, a fresher, which is coming as a fresh candidate from the market. But you also know that that particular fresher might be knowing something which you are not aware of, something which is currently happening, some latest technology, latest knowledge which you might not be aware of. And because of that particular gap, in your knowledge versus this newcomer, the fear that you are having right now, that whether this newcomer will surpass me or not, may become a reality. And that's why, to ensure that your role is not becoming redundant in the organization, you should be continuously work on upgrading your skill. Upgrading your skill doesn't mean that you need to get a certificate. In today's world, in today's technological development that has happened, even without getting a certification, there are so many different ways and means of learning new things. You can learn on the job also by taking certain challenging project, as we have talked about in the previous tip, that you can get into a new project altogether, and in that process you can learn something new. So that's the third thing that you can do. The fourth thing that you can do is you can freelance or volunteer with your other skills. You have been working by using your primary skill in your job. You might be a software developer. So software development is your primary skill, using which you are performing your job in an IT company. Look at, do you have some other skills? Do you know something else which can be utilized? For example, possibly you used to do very good painting when you were young, and many people have appreciated your painting capability, painting skill. This might be a very good opportunity at this stage in your career to volunteer and do some freelancing related to that particular skill which you have. How it helps? It helps you to again re-energize yourself, because our mind is a very, very interesting part of our body, which very soon gets into a mode of that monotonous situation, and things start becoming boring in your life if you're doing the same thing, right? It happens with any individual. So when you start doing something new, it brings a sense of variety. It gives a sense of excitement of something new to your mind. And that reignites the passion back in your professional life. And that passion you will be able to utilize in your current job to get rid of the mid-career crisis that currently you are going through. So you may try that particular option as well. The fifth thing that you can do, if none of these are working with you, it is very important that you should be open to seek some professional help. And that professional help can be given to you by a professional coach, a life coach, a career coach. These kind of people may actually help you in having a clear definition about the problem that you're facing, and thereby finding out specific solutions to your problem. So don't shy away from taking professional help if mid-career crisis has started impacting not only your professional life, but individually it has started impacting you at a personal level. Don't keep quiet. You should go forward and take that professional help. Now, we have talked about 5 ways that you can handle the problem of mid-career crisis. Having said that, there are certain few aspects that I will request you to remember. These are very important aspects that you also need to remember when you are going through this entire process, or you are helping somebody else who is going through this kind of a situation in his or her life. What are these aspects? The first aspect is accepting the change in your career. So currently, the situation that you are going through is a part of change that our life goes through in our entire lifespan. Our lifespan is not a straight line, right? We go through different kind of experiences in life. And in the other way, many people describe that my life has been a roller coaster ride. So a roller coaster ride, you can actually imagine, it is far, far away from being a straight line. And in a roller coaster ride, it is full of changes, surprises in life. So as a human being, you should be able to accept that change in your life. So don't get afraid that I'm going through this particular phase in my career, what to do? Oh, everything has gone out of toss in my life. I don't know what is lying ahead. I'm feeling so depressed, so stressed. Well, you have to have the courage to accept that change in your life. Another very important aspect to remember is you always need to maintain a positive mindset. Even though you are going through this particular phase, you don't have any clarity of your career ahead. What lies ahead? I don't know. Even in that particular situation, don't let the negative thoughts come and take over you completely. What kind of negative thoughts? I don't know what is lying ahead of me. So I don't know how do I take care of my dreams, my family's dreams, my future expectations after my retirement life. What will happen? Hold on. Don't go that far. You still have time to relaunch your life, your career. So keep that positivity that yes, things are possible. And if that positivity is not coming directly, talk to somebody who can actually help you. Read some books of successful people who have launched their career at a very later stage in their life, when they are above 40 years, 45 years, 50 years. There are so many examples. Use those examples to get motivated. So, well, friends, those are some of the points that I wanted to share with all of you on this very, very important topic of mid-career crisis. So, as I said, I would love to read your comments, either the live comments or when you go through the recorded version of this video. Share your comments. I'll ensure that I give a response to each of those comments that you'll be making. And finally, my request is, if you like this video, like this talk, so please like, share, and also put a few comments. If you like this particular live talk on every Sunday at 10 p.m., then ensure that you are a part of this particular talk show. You can be a part of it. You can put your comments live, and we can actually have a very good conversation over this particular session. So thanks a lot for being here, whomsoever are present here, and whomsoever will be watching this particular session recorded version. Thanks to all of you. Okay, I see there is a question that Santosh has put. How to do risk analysis of change in mid-career? Fantastic question. So there is a risk that is there in your mid-career situation for which we are talking. This is a crisis. So how do you do the risk analysis? Well, there are few ways that I think, in my opinion, that you can do a risk analysis. The first thing is, see the skills which are in demand in your organization currently and the skills which are in demand in the market. Against those skills, benchmark your skills. Do you have all the relevant skills that are actually in demand in your organization and in the market? Why I'm saying in the market? Because for many people, when they face the mid-career crisis, they actually would like to take a call of leaving their current job and taking up some new role in another organization. Now, when you want to move into another job, obviously you have to be competitive in the market. And for being competitive, so that you get a very good job, right? I mean, not any job, but a good job. You need to see that what are the skill sets which are currently needed in the market. Possibly the skill sets which were needed 15 years back when you started your career may no longer be able to help you today. So that risk analysis has to be done, which is benchmarking your skill versus the skills that are needed currently in your organization to take the organization ahead, and the skill sets which are needed in your industry in the market. So thank you for asking that question, Santosh. If anybody else have got any question, you can ask now, or you can put the question later on also, or any comment you want to make, please put it. I'll ensure that I respond to your comment and your questions. Thank you for being here. Once again, I wish you a very, very happy Ganesh Chaturthi, Ganesh Utsav, which is actually continuing over the last few days. And in some locations, it will actually continue for the next few days. And I pray to Lord Ganesha that Lord Ganesha takes away all obstacles in your life and give you a very healthy and successful life ahead. Thank you. All the best. Good night for today.